Hi everyone on Instagram Live. We'll be starting really shortly. The site's just getting started on Bob TV. Okay. Welcome everybody. This is Hatha Yoga that happens every Tuesday on Bump Television. My name is Senji. I teach Hatha Yoga and I'm a Sikh Indian woman teaching an ancient Hindu practice, and we're going to be moving through a really fun theme today. So last week's we kind of focused on this idea of, sending energy, sending light, and this week we're going to be focusing a little bit on something a little bit more fun and a little bit less serious, and we're going to be doing a lot of poses after animals. Animal themed, it'll be a lot of fun. So starting out, we're going to start our class in Shavasana, laying back, and just kind of settling into our practice. Really just letting yourself sink into the floor here. Can you adjust your shoulders so that they're lying a little more flush? Can you check your toes? Are they pointing up so you're forcing them, or are you just letting them go slack? Giving yourself a body scan here. Does one side of your body feel more tight? Does something feel more taut? Can you loosen it? Can you send thoughts to that area to help it calm? Is your bum, is it clenched? Can you just wiggle your bum a little bit and allow it to just find its way into the mat? Your breath. Sometimes when I lay in Shavasana, I realize that I haven't really been breathing properly all day. Can you allow for expansion in your chest? Can you give space so that you can send even air to your back? Can you send it to the back part of your lungs, to almost your shoulders? Breathing, releasing, being thankful for all this clean oxygen you're breathing in. Your neck, is it elongated? Is it kind of tucking into your chest? Or can we give it a lot of space here? Your eyebrows, are they furrowed? Or can you have a relaxed forehead? Your jaw, is it clenched? Can you let it go slack? Letting your breath either find a really beautiful flow here, or deepening it if that feels good. Shavasana is that perfect posture that helps you exist between sleeping, the unconscious, and the conscious or busyness of our mind. It's that kind, calm space where you just am, where you don't hold that ego of I am, but simply just are you. Slipping down into your mat. Are you one with your floor? Are you feeling the force of gravity help you sink even a little bit further into your mat? Taking a few deeper breaths here. Can we inhale all the things that we want? And can we sigh out anything that doesn't serve us? Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Bringing a little bit of electricity into our bodies just by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Can you feel energy begin to pulsate through your body? So you go from something very still to something even in the slightest motion. Beautiful. Lifting the arms up and back. Can you point your toes and elongate your body, giving yourself a beautiful stretch? Keeping the arms where they are, or moving them alongside your body, whatever feels good. Bringing the right leg in and holding it there for a couple of seconds. Breathing. From here, our leg is going to splay outwards. Ooh, I just popped my hip. That felt really nice. Breathing here. Arms up in the next position might be a little bit tough. If it feels tough on your shoulder, just bringing your arms alongside. We're going to rotate our leg so that it rotates all the way over, giving a stretch to our body. If the knee doesn't touch the ground, that's totally okay. Arms alongside if it's really tough on your shoulder here. Beautiful. Last step, we're going to lift our leg up and straighten it as much as feels good, giving yourself support here or no support, whatever feels right. And releasing back down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Let's just lengthen ourselves again. Bringing the knee in, holding it there for a couple of seconds. Legs going to splay out. Feeling that stretch as we open up that hip, maybe for the first time today. Then we're going to rotate. Arms can stay up or go up on the side as we bring our leg all the way over. Just giving ourselves a nice twist here. Foot can go down, foot can hang up, whatever feels good. Coming back up to neutral. We then lift our leg up in the air, supporting our thigh if that feels good, keeping our arms up if that feels good. Just depends on what you feel is good for your body today. You can even kind of point and flex the foot Feeling a lot of stretch in the calf and the back of the leg. And releasing back to the floor. This is our first pose that's animal related. Bringing our feet together, we enter butterfly position. Thighs can bounce if they want to, but they don't have to. Keeping your feet as far away as what feels good, or kind of tucking it into the body. Just giving yourself whatever spice level you need. Breathing into any discomfort, giving space for your hips. Wonderful. Straightening the legs back out. We point the toes. What I want you to do is kind of push your heels into the ground so you can slide your hands under. Like the other week when we did our rainbow fish pose, we're going to be doing a rainbow fish pose today. So as your hands tuck under, you start to notice that your shoulders point up. That's great. What I want you to do is kind of plant your elbows into the ground. What we're going to do is lift from our forearms, not putting all the pressure on the bone of our elbow here. We lift up by pushing our elbows into the ground and just balancing on our top of our head here. For those that wish, crossing the leg underneath can give a little bit more of a stretch, but having the legs straight out is a perfect fish pose. Hanging out here, letting a little bit of blood rush to the head. Fun fact about rainbow fish is the older they get, the more colorful they get. Which means it might happen for you as well. Coming out of this pose, we put the same amount of pressure into our forearms and let our head slide back. If your legs are crossed, straightening your legs and lifting ourselves up so our hands are out from underneath us. So, like we talk about in Hatha Yoga, Ha and Ta, it's about balance. So what we want to do is, since we've balanced our back one way, let's roll over and give ourselves a stretch in the other direction. Flipping onto our stomach prone, we can place our hands in front of us as if we were a sphinx, or placing it just underneath our arms, we can give ourselves a slight bend as we move into baby cobra, or sphinx position if that feels good. Holding it here, what I want you to do is really make sure that your shoulders are down and your neck is long here. Your shoulders are not earrings. Toes can point. Laying down, we're going to push out of this position. We're going to stretch our legs out as wide as the mat. This next position is actually a bit of a tricky one. It's called frog. Frog position, it's about kind of either bending your legs out, which mine actually don't do, at least don't do very comfortably, or you can stretch your legs in so that they're touching. Frog either way. Next thing I'm going to do is straighten our arms in front of us, any length at all, and just really feel this wide-legged kind of child pose. You're a frog. Ribbit, ribbit. Feeling that stretch. It can be pretty intense. Obviously, intensity Varies on whether your butt is higher or lower. If this is tough on the knee, flipping your yoga mat over a layer can help. Just give a little bit of support. Just gonna hang in here for another breath or two, really allowing our space for our hips to open today. Wonderful. Coming out of this position, you walk your hands back into your body and kind of lean over to the left so you can slide your legs under and come to a seated position. We're going to do our first meditation for the day. This is all about intention setting. It's about settling in from our Shavasana, which is our breath work, and our calming, to really focusing our mind. Yoga is about doing postural exercises so that our bodies are kind and limber and healthy, so we can connect our mind to the universe. So as we breathe, we close our eyes here. And we set an intention, whatever that intention is. Mine today, for those that need a little prompt, is about understanding marvel. My partner, a couple of years ago, told me that beauty is beauty, and that even a bear has been noted to sit in front of the sun and watch the sun set. How can I move through the world and see how marvelous it is, both in animals, in the environment, and my fellow humans? Focusing on that idea in however it manifests in your brain. Focusing on your intention and whatever that intention is. Can you inhale everything that would serve that intention and spread it through your body? Breathing. The mind wanders, let it wander. Just knowing that these ideas and these thoughts are fickle. You can acknowledge them and let them go. Finding your attachment simply to your breath as you breathe in your intentions throughout your body. Last couple of breaths here, make them count. Coming out of this position, we flutter our eyes open. Planting the hands on the ground, we just rotate over into child's pose. So just taking a little bit of wider than hip width apart. What I want you to do, instead of laying your feet flat, I want you to point your toes underneath you. So that when you sit back in a child's pose, that you give yourself a little bit of a foot stretch. For those that wish it to be a little bit spicy, keeping the elbows off the ground and acting as if you could pull the mat towards you, it activates the shoulders. You can also pedal over and wiggle into your feet a little bit more to increase that foot stretch. For those that find this too intense, keeping a foot underneath is totally okay. One more deep breath here. We push up into a table. I'm sure you know what the next two animals are, our cat and our cow. This modification is fine, like you can keep a regular table. For those that wish, you can also cross your legs over each other, giving a bit of a twist here. As you move through cat and cow, it can make the posture feel a little bit different. Curling up for cat position, eye position will look at your legs. Swooping up for cow position, drishti point, eyes up to the sky. Rotating through these in your own breath. One more rotation. Unfurling the legs if they're curled over each other. The next position is kind of a funny one, and I don't often do it in classes because people get self-conscious, but I can't see you. So this is a great one. Following our theme of animals, our next pose is just spreading our legs as if we were going to go into child's pose. Placing our hands out in front of us, keeping our shoulders right, kind of tucking our shoulder blades together and keeping our chest open. This is lion posture. You'll see why. Opening the mouth, we stick out the tongue. Pretty embarrassing for me, but it's really important to open up the jaw muscles that a lot of us are clenching our teeth or grinding our teeth at night. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Wonderful. Coming out of this position, we push up into our first downward dog. Hey, we got another animal. And pedaling the feet. If this is your first downward dog of the day, it may feel a bit tight. Just moving in it, whatever way feels good. Holding a foot on one side if that's nice. Rotating to the other. Walking our feet towards our hands. I'm sure you know what part of the day it is. Our sun salutations. Let's do this. For those that have been here week over week, we do our sun salutations a little bit differently. We'll move them through them slowly and then picking up the pace. Inhaling, arms sweep up and back into a slight back bend. Inhaling, our hands come to a prayer as we fold all the way forward. Inhaling, hands plant, left leg steps back, knee comes to the ground, toes point, eyes look up at the sky. Exhaling, left and right foot meet in a plank, knees, chin, and chest touch the ground, bum stays up into the sky. Inhaling, we sweep forward into another animal, our cobra. Pushing back into downward dog. Inhaling, our left leg steps up and through our hands so we can plant our left knee, point our toes, and look up in a lunge. Exhaling, left and right foot meet as we fold forward. Inhaling, sweeping up and back. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Do the same on the other side. Inhale, sweep up and back. Exhale, hands come to prayer as we fold all the way forward. Inhale, right leg steps back, knee plants, eyes look up at the sky. Exhaling, we come to a plank. Knees, chin, and chest touch the ground, bum stays up in the sky. Inhaling, pushing up into cobra, shoulders down and back. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, steps between the hands, right knee plants, looking up at the sky. Exhaling, left and right foot meet. We're folding forward here. Inhale, lift up, back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's do that again. One more full round. Inhale. Ha. Exhale. Ha. Inhale. Left foot goes back. Plants, looking up. Ha. Exhale. Left and right meet. Knees, chin, and chest to the ground. Ha. Inhale. Sweeping up to cobra. Ha. Exhale. Pushing back. Downward dog. Ha. Inhale. Right leg lifts up. Steps between the hands. Ha. Exhale. Left and right foot meet. Just hanging. Ha. Inhale. Up. Ha. Exhale, back to center. Ta. The other form of that is Ida, which is inactive, and Pingala, which is active. You can use either terms. You can try it again the next one with Ida and Pingala. Inhale, up, Pingala. Exhale, all the way down, Ida. Planting the hands, left foot steps back. We go through Pingala. Left and right foot meet. Knees, chin, and chest to the ground. Ida. Inhaling. Up. Pingala to cobra. Exhale, pushing back. Ida. Into downward dog. Lifting the left leg up to the sky. Stepping between the hands. Pingala. So we look up. Worshipping that sun. I'm going to hang out here for a breath. I know it's intense. It feels good though. Stepping our feet together. Hanging here. This is our Ida. Flipping our hands up and back. Pingala. Hands together. Ida. Ida, moon, bluish color, darker colors. Pingala, sun, browns, reds. You think about it in terms of the system, everything in the chakra is kind of a bluish or a reddish. Things to think about. From here, what I want you to do is step your right foot forward. Left foot comes back, and it's almost as if you could take a step forward. You want your toes aligned in a way that if you took that step, that also your hips would be flush. This is called about proper pelvic alignment. I want you to bend the front knee. You can lift off the toe if that, like onto the toes if that feels good. Sending the arms up to the sky. We bend into this. This is our warrior one position. Keeping strong here. Breathing. Feeling the intensity of the stretch. Arms, as always, nice and tight, not loosey-goosey. Beautiful. Sweeping the arms back, cupping the elbows, and using that as a guide to keep your back somewhat straight. As straight as what feels healthy for you. We straighten the front leg, and we lean forward, feeling that stretch in the front leg along the back of the thigh and the calf. Pyramid pose, it's a nice one. Breathing here, sending so much love to those legs. Coming out of this position, by keeping your feet engaged, let's bend the knee slightly and rotate back up. I want you to rotate out on your mat so your feet are pointing to the corners of your mat. Hands come in prayer position. And bending into it as much as feels good, as long as the hips are tilted so your bum is tucked in and not out. This right here is a beautiful stretch already. Nice engagement in the legs. As always, our feet should be engaged. And a way that we can do that is either by just kind of spreading our toes and pushing into our mat, or for those that wish, giving yourself a foot stretch. One foot, the other point. You can do both if you're feeling really risky today. It's about fun. If you want a little bit more spacey, going lower, seeing if you can balance. A little bit less spicy, coming up. Whatever feels good, we're going to hold here for one more breath so make it really count. Inhaling. And exhaling. Coming out of this position, really keeping your feet active, engaging the glutes, we slowly push up. Not dumping our weight into our knees, giving our hips lots of support. So wiggle back together and pointing the left foot in front this time. Right foot aligned so that our hips are also aligned. A really beautiful neutral pelvis here. Our left leg bends. Arms sweep up so we enter our warrior position. Keeping our arms really active, you're squishing a block between them. Keeping this position for 2 more breaths. Sweeping the arms behind us, cupping the elbows, straightening the left leg. We fold a little bit forward so we enter our pyramid pose, keeping our shoulders back. Noticing our hips, are we splaying out? Are we keeping our hips nice and neutral? Both pointing in the same direction. Two more deep breaths here. Coming out of this position, we want to bend the knees slightly, rotating upwards, unhooking our elbows, and pointing the toes again. We can either stretch our legs a little bit further than what we would normally as we come to a forward fold, whatever feels good. Sending our arms up to the sky. We fold forward, not by pushing our bum out, but pretend there's a wall behind you. We want to, as if we were a hinge of a door, just hinging at the hips so our bum barely even moves. Hands can hang, hands can come down, hands can be on the fists, hands can be on the tips of the fingers, whatever feels good here. Folding in any way. For those that wish, kind of grabbing on one side, coming back to the center, rotating to the other, coming back to center. We come out of this position. I want to unlock the knees, engage the glutes, and let's roll up the body. Amazing. Bringing the feet back together. Our next position is our balancing posture. It's a tricky one. So if you flop out of it, normal. I also might, because I'm going to try to talk during it. Doesn't end up usually very well. Planting the left foot in the ground, you can allow for a bit of structure for your balancing poses by spreading the toes out. It doesn't look the hottest, but it definitely does help root you into the ground. The right foot is going to curl around. Ready? Arms also curl. This is Garuda. Garuda is a deity in Hinduism. Garuda is the god of rebirth. They're a vessel that's used in mythology, and it means eagle, keeping that strength. Holding here for one more breath. Can you do it? Keeping a point of view that's a view in front of you that's staying still, can help you stay still. And releasing. Releasing the arms, giving yourself a shake. Giving your toes even a little bit of a shake. We're going to be planting the right foot now. Left. Depending on how you feel, going leg first felt good, great. If you found that you maybe want to do your arms first and then move your leg through, whatever feels right for you. As long as we're going the opposite way of what it was the time before. So wrapping the leg, wrapping the arm, and finding the stillest point in your entire house. We stay still and reflect on what it would be like to be an eagle of rebirth. Holding here for one more breath, you can do it. And releasing. Arms and then legs. Nice shake. Great. As we've been playing quite a bit, especially because we're trying out our different animal poses, the next one is super brutal. And I can't even do it. But we can try it out. Coming down to your mat. Peacock Pose, which thanks to Peter's amazing poster this week has inspired me to think about animals. It's a lot about, well, it literally is as if you were to rotate your hands backwards, balancing on your arms and lifting both legs up into the air. So basically you're planking on just two arms. I can't do that. But we can attempt to learn it together. For those that flipping on their wrists, pointing them towards your feet feels good, that's great. You can also take it sideways. That's a great way to start getting into Peacock Pose. What I want you to do is placing the arms in whatever way feels good. Lifting up on the toes. And if you feel like you want to try lifting up even one foot, we keep our core active and see if we can balance. It's way beyond me. But worth a try, right? Coming out of that, giving your wrists a bit of a break, kind of a brutal position for anybody with a little bit of tight wrists. You can also, a common pose to help balance wrist structure is placing the wrists underneath the knees and leaning forward on them and pulling them up. Or simply placing pressure on the wrists, in front of you, back, and in front. Okay. Feeling ready for a downward dog? Placing the hands in front, lifting the legs up. Feeling the difference of our downward dog between the first one today and the one right now. What I'd like you to do is lift the right leg up into the air and plant it on the mat so that the knee points towards the corner. We're going into our next animal pose, which is pigeon. So the leg should be somewhat as if it's like a diagonal straight point into the corner of your mat. Your hip is on the floor and your foot is behind you. This is a beautiful pigeon pose. This is a beautiful pigeon pose. This is a beautiful pigeon pose. For those that also wish, you can lift your foot up and grab it. That's also king pigeon pose. Also a great pigeon pose. Whatever feels good is your pigeon pose. A fun fact about pigeons is if you feed them, they actually remember your face. A lot of cultures believe that feeding pigeons helps them reincarnate into never ever being hungry. So a lot of cultures, especially in India and Asia, feed pigeons out of love and respect. A little bit different than how we viewed in Toronto. Coming out of position for those that are in king, releasing the leg. For those that are in pigeon pose, we're going to swoop our foot back into our downward dog. Giving yourselves a bit of a pedal here, wiggling the hips, stretching out whatever needs to be stretched out. We lift our left foot this time, planting on the mat at an angle that as if your knee is pointing perfectly in alignment with the corner. Our knee comes to the ground, our foot points, and we want to find a little bit of balance so that our bum is touching the ground. This is a beautiful pigeon pose. This is also this. Whatever your pigeon is, that's great. For those that wish, grabbing the foot behind you, grabbing the foot above, which I cannot do. It's a king pigeon pose, and this is also an option. Breathing here, I know this is an intense one, but it's really good for your thighs and your hips. Keeping our shoulders nice and broad so that it can be helpful for our shoulders and our front of our chest as well. Often a reason why we hunch forward isn't because we have tightness in our back, but it's really about the fact that we've shortened our muscles in our chest. By hunching forward, our muscles shorten. So in order for us to find this balance, we need to open our chest out and lengthen those muscles even a little bit to help build a little bit of equilibrium. For those in king, releasing the foot. For those in pigeon and everyone else, we are going to be lifting up into downward dog. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a hip break, spreading the legs, sitting back into child's pose. Let's keep this one a really calm child's pose. Just relaxing our elbows onto the ground. Pushing up into table, and then allowing ourselves time to sit down. We cross our legs. For those that wish, taking a half lotus position. We just want to give ourselves a bit of a twist right now. Whatever that twist looks like for you is the perfect twist. So placing the left hand on the right knee, we twist so that, if possible, we look over our right shoulder. For those that wish, can also take a bound position by grabbing the toe of the right foot. Breathing here, every inhale, can you lengthen your spine? And every exhale, can you twist even the slightest bit more? Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Last breath, make it count. Beautiful. Releasing here, kind of counterbalancing that just by twisting, holding onto the left knee, twisting the other way slightly. For those that have just crossed their legs, let's cross the other foot in front. For those that are taking a half lotus position, placing the left foot or the other foot that you put up onto the thigh crease. Taking the right hand, we cup onto the left knee and rotate any amount that feels good. Also, for those that are twisting, choose a bound position, holding on to the toe and twisting. Every inhale, we lengthen. We exhale, we twist even the slightest bit more. For those that have some neck problems, looking out to the side is also so okay. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Staying here for 2 more full breaths. Beautiful. We did it. Our animal yoga for today. Our last little bit, coming to a seated position, is, as we do week over week, and it's such a crucial part of yoga, is breath work. This next breath is about cooling the body. If you're feeling warm, this is great. With breath work, like always, some people's breath work works for them. Sometimes breath work doesn't work for you, and it can change from breath exercise to breath exercise. So I'm going to do one called the Sitali breath. And what I want you to do, if you choose, is make your mouth into a O. So as if you're going to say O. When you inhale through your mouth, it's cool. You close your mouth and you exhale through your nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the nose. Following that flow. Feeling that spring wind enter your body. Allowing for coolness and balance. For those that are Ayurvedically already cold, closing the mouth and just breathing out through the nose can allow for you to maintain that hot. For those that are Ayurvedically a little bit hot, this is nice to help cool the system. Noticing that as you do your Sitali breath, whether the actual flow of breath is longer, or your inhale's longer than before, and or your exhale's longer than before. Returning to a more simple breathing in and out of the nostril breath here. Can we feel the coolness of that Sathali breath through our body? Seeing if your mind feels calmer than it did when you were intention setting or when you were in Shavasana. Sitting here in either seated meditation with eyes closed, either focusing on the intention or on your breath, or laying back into Shavasana, finding that Zen point of being alive and being unconscious. Either way, let us focus on the am. Let us focus on our real, true selves and not the little fireflies looking for our attention. Remembering that yoga makes us feel good, that meditation makes us feel good. Remembering that animals are the best. For those that wish, need a little bit of guidance here. How about we send some loving kindness to the earth? Send loving kindness in its healing to the earth. And as we breathe in, can we accept that loving kindness back? You are loving kindness. You breathe in the loving kindness of the earth and you exhale all your loving kindness back to it. One of my best friends, Teddy, says, animals rule and humans drool. And why this may be the case most of the time. It doesn't always have to be. We are nature. And as soon as you remember that, we begin to see the real marvel. Back to that intention, seeing the world for marvel. Seeing the world as universe, and we are that universe, and that universe is us. That bushy-tailed squirrel is you, that those little cute chicks are you, that crazy raccoon eating that garbage is you, and that we must treat everything as us with loving kindness. Can you feel that kindness permeate you? Can you think about how this love and intention and meditation that you're putting out into the world can help something bloom faster? Can you send those buds and those trees some love and kindness so that they can bloom into the perfect tree they are? For those that wish, laying back in Shavasana post this is a beautiful way to love yourself. For those that are in seated meditation and feeling good, this is the perfect way to love yourself. Thank you so much for joining my class today. Animals rule, and so do you. I'll see you all next Tuesday. Thank you, Bump TV.